Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The Redevelopment Agency meeting of January 20, 2010 is called to order. This meeting has been properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being presented live on KCLV Cable Channel 2 and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. The Redevelopment Agency meeting, as well as all other KCLV programming, can be viewed on the city's website at www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m. and also on Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. We make this announcement at every meeting as a precautionary announcement. We don't have any reason to believe that this would ever take place, but this building is protected by a state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. So should alarms go off, please leave through the exits, and then when our marshals say it's safe to re-enter, come back in, and that's the announcement that we make. At this time, we'll call item number 3, approval of the final minutes by reference of the regular Redevelopment Agency meeting of January 20, 2010 and February 3rd, 2010. May I have a motion, please?
Yes, Your Honor. No additions or deletions. I'd like a motion to approve those minutes, please.
Thank you. Let's vote on that, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you. All right. Item number 4 is RA 4, 2010, discussion and possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and Vast Holdings, Inc., doing business as Peter Pan Motel, located at 110 North 13th Street, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA, not to exceed $50,000 from the Special Revenue Fund. This is in Ward 3, and the item is related to Council Item 57, which will be heard later today. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Office of Business Development. This item is part of our Visual Improvement Program grant program, and it is for a property located on 110 North 13th Street. The current property owner purchased the property in 2008 and is making considerable improvements to the property, investing approximately $1.5 million into the property. A lot of that work isn't evident to the public. It's going into the interior of the building. The property is known as the Peter Pan Motel. It's been a motel since the mid-1960s. The Visual Improvement Program funds are targeted to the renovation of an existing sign. I'm going to place a copy of the existing sign on the overhead so you can see what the existing sign looks like in the condition. The Visual Improvement Program grant, the sign estimated is a little over $15,000. The program requires a 1-to-1 match, so we're going to be putting in half that amount. We did write up the contract so that if there's additional exterior improvement, we can go up to the VIP maximum of $50,000 on the condition that the property owner invests more money into the exterior of the building. And while I put a copy of what the new signage will look like, I'd like to introduce Joe Dominguez, who's representing the property owner, and he can address what they're doing on the interior of the building, as well as answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Dominguez.
Yes, when we purchased the building in 2008, we started with a remodelization of the whole property. It hadn't been done since the 1960s, and we brought the property, all of it, to current 2009 at that time standards. The only thing that was left to be done on the property was the exterior sign, and at this time you see there's pieces falling off it, and it's become kind of a hazard, and we want it to match the rest of the building.
Very good. Thank you. Are there any questions of Mr. Dominguez or Mr. Arndt?
Just a comment.
Yes.
Looks to me like that guy on top of that Peter Pan sign looks more like John Wayne than it does Peter Pan.
It is a landmark. It's been in several movies. And
pardon?
Looks like Ty Murray.
Yeah, Ty Murray. Yeah. But not Peter Pan.
No. Okay, so you'll make it a little more like Peter Pan, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Okay, any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Your Honor. We have done a lot of these. To me, this is kind of what the Redevelopment Agency was opened up and started for, is to help people with these small businesses get themselves remodeled into competition with the other newer buildings. So I think it's great. I make a motion to follow staff recommendation on this item, please.
All right, let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you over there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5 is RA 5, 2010, a public hearing and possible action regarding a resolution finding the proposed sublease and operating agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency and the Urban Chamber of Commerce to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and approving the sublease and operating agreement for the Las Vegas Business Center at 1951 Stella Lake Street in Ward 5, and this item is related to Council Item 58. Mr. Arnn.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is an item for revisiting the use of the building located at Stella Lake and Lake Mead Boulevard. You should see in the overhead site map showing the current site. I'd like to give you a very brief background on what the building's been used for since it's been constructed, talk about the current opportunity, and then talk today about the partnership that we're looking to embark on with the Urban Chamber of Commerce. The building located at 1951 Stella Lake was constructed in 1998. It was originally intended and built to be a business incubator. A business incubator is a building which provides below market space to businesses looking to grow their business, and it gives businesses an opportunity, rather than to invest in ongoing operations maintaining space, invest back in their business, to grow their business, to expand, and to add more jobs to their business. So that was the original intent. It was funded with community development block grant funds as well as EDA funds. The project initially was managed by city staff. Since its original inception, it evolved to house a number of different uses, including the city's Evolve program. And today there are 3 business tenants in the building: ProServe, J&M, and in addition to the 3 tenants, the remainder of the building remains vacant. So I'd like to skip now to the current site plan. And on the overhead, this is a layout basically of the floor plan for the building. The building's approximately 17,100 square feet. The center of the building, which was really intended to be the incubator, is 5,171 square feet. And then the suites that you can see, 5 to the left of the center and 5 to the right, those 10 suites are each 1,200 square feet. And so today we're looking to embark on a new partnership with the Urban Chamber of Commerce. The city desires to bring the building back to its original use as a business incubator. What we're finding in times of a down economy, entrepreneurship and creativity tends to go up, not down, and there's a real demand for the space in this building. We've been getting a lot of calls, as well as our partner, the Chamber of Commerce, has, and so we want to return it to its original use. The structure that we've worked out is the city's going to be actually leasing the building to the redevelopment agency. The city owns the asset since it was built with the block grant funds and the EDA funds. And then in turn, the redevelopment agency will sublet a portion of the building, 623 square feet in the center of the building, to the Urban Chamber of Commerce in return for some in-kind services. In order to do that, a provision in redevelopment law, NRS 279.472, requires a public hearing. And so this item is a public hearing to hear about the use of the building and why we're proposing to involve the Chamber of Commerce in the partnership. What we've worked out with the Chamber of Commerce is that we're going to be leasing 3 of the suites, again, a little over 600 square feet, for a 5-year period with 2 5-year options. That 5-year period, the value of the lease is roughly $43,000. So in return for that, we're going to be getting in-kind services from the Chamber of Commerce. If you're familiar with the 5th Street School, it's really a similar business model to what the redevelopment agency is doing with their own cultural affairs to help the RDA run that facility for a cultural facility. This is very analogous to that project where we're engaging a community partner, the Chamber of Commerce, to help us run the facility as a business incubator. With that, I'd like to enter into the public record. We have a public purpose impact analysis. I have 2 originals for the city clerk. And then I have copies for the mayor and the council.
All right, if you hand those up, please.
These public purpose impact analysis forms basically are to substantiate why we're doing the partnership, what the value is, the public investment, and what we're getting out of the private investment. Again, the public investment, the value of the lease, $43,000. We're getting that back in return probably a few times over from the in-kind services from the Chamber. We're investing from the Redevelopment Agency, projected to invest $150,000 on an annual basis to help subsidize the operations. Business incubators typically run at a small loss. Again, we're essentially subsidizing businesses that are seeking to grow for a short-term period so that we can try to see some growth and new jobs. And this public purpose impact analysis shows the investment. It does show the appraisal of the property. We did have 2 appraisals. And again, we're leasing a portion of the facility to the Chamber at a nominal cost, $1 per month for a 5-year period. And that discount represents about $43,000 for that 5-year period. The remainder of the suites, we're going to offer the 10 suites at below market rent, and then the center of the building, which is really the business incubator hub, if you will be at a nominal cost. That's for small businesses that are really seeking to expand and just need a minimal office presence. You see in the site plan here, the business incubator suites are only about 190 square feet, so it's a real small office just to get a business off and running. The public purpose impact analysis satisfies the requirement from NRS 268, where if we lease property at or below fair market value, we have to do 2 appraisals. We've done that, and the appraisals show that the value of the building, we think that the value that we're going to get from the businesses is going to be well worth the investment. We're projecting jobs in the range of 36, 37 jobs annually from the entire facility. With that, I'd like to invite the Urban Chamber of Commerce to the podium to make a few remarks to talk about their interest in the partnership. The city's excited about the partnership. We think we have a great partner in the Chamber, and we think they bring a lot of things to the table and help us to engage the business community to really grow businesses at this site and in the community as well.
Okay, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Jerry Merritt. I'm the Vice President of the Urban Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Hannah Brown, President Emeritus of the Urban Chamber.
I know you.
I've seen you before, once or twice.
This is an outstanding opportunity, and I know that Hannah would be most of all to say that it is, because it seemed like it has been such a long time coming that the Urban Chamber would have the opportunity to be able to do this in the area and bring help to the businesses. If you read our mission statement for what we're all about at the Urban Chamber, it's about assisting businesses within the Las Vegas area. So to have the city of Las Vegas as a partner to enable us to do this is just outstanding. We have had not only chamber members, but even businesses that are not members of the chamber asking already about opportunities to be able to go into this incubator. I can remember from the beginning, many years ago, when this business center was put together and why it was designed and why it was designed to help the businesses, and how exciting it was then. And there were businesses that got started and that have moved on to do better. So we're looking forward to being able to do this same thing. And I think at this time, there is no better time for us to be opening up the incubator again, because there are so many businesses out there that are actually struggling and actually need some place to either get started again or to get started for the first time.
Well, that's good. I know that the council, myself, we were out and about all the time, and we run into people who have ideas about starting a business, and they're looking for a little bit of help, a little bit of a push. And we, thus far, haven't been able to give them much assistance. But now that we're starting this up again, we have a place where they'll be able to call home, which is good.
Right.
And also, this is an opportunity for the Urban Chamber of Commerce as you've known that we revised the Urban Chamber of Commerce back in 1997, and the city, we've always been a partner of the city at the 1048 West Owen where we are now. So I see this as a larger picture and becoming a larger partner with the city.
Good. Ms. Brown?
And I would like to express my appreciation and with our continuing relationship, because we've had a great relationship with the city over the years, and we are very appreciative of that. And we certainly want to thank Councilman Barlow for all the effort that he's put into it, and we want to thank you for your support and trust in us. And as Jerry has said, we do have, now that it's become public knowledge that we are going to be managing the facility, we have people on a consistent basis that are questioning us about how can you get into the facility. So we're going to be working very hard at making that work and making this a successful partnership.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Any other comments or questions? Councilman Barlow?
Yes, Mayor. First and foremost, I would like to thank Office of Business Development, Mr. Bill Arndt, and Darren and your entire staff for a job well done in regards to putting this MOU together, this Memorandum of Understanding. When I was looking around the community and looking for an opportunity to grow the smaller businesses, not only throughout Ward 5, but throughout the city of Las Vegas, I couldn't think of a better agency to work with than the Urban Chamber of Commerce. And having this new developed partnership, I believe, will be a feather in the city's cap, a feather in the Urban Chamber's cap, because under their new leadership, Ms. Deborah Nelson, who is absent, as well as Ms. Jerry Merritt and Hannah Brown, these ladies work very diligently to make sure that failure is not an option when it comes to the Urban Chamber of Commerce and all of the developments that they bring forward for these small businesses throughout the city of Las Vegas. And so with that, I am most definitely in 100% support of the move that we are proposing today as far as establishing this relationship. And I believe that it will be to all of our success and making sure that this is a successful venue for businesses to come in and do business. So with that, I would like to move for approval of this item subject to all conditions.
All right, let's vote, please. Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
Item number 6 is report and possible action regarding City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency projects currently under contract or negotiation, other projects proposed or under construction within or near the redevelopment area, and to provide an overview of programs and initiatives pertaining to wards 1, 3, and 5. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you, Mayor. This is our quarterly PowerPoint update. I'm going to work rapidly through an overview of basically our strategy that we have right now at OBD. I know we focus normally on the development update, what's happening on projects, and we have some exciting projects moving forward. But I thought it'd be worthwhile to take a look at the strategy that OBD is embarking on right now from an investment perspective, from a budget perspective, and then look to the future as far as what we're doing for upcoming strategies to really try to bolster the Las Vegas economy, as well as continue the success that we've had at redevelopment. So I'm going to touch briefly on the strategic business plan, give you an update on some progress we've made and some current projects we're working on, take you through our strategic results that's part of our business plan, and then, as requested by the council at some past hearings, take a look at what we're doing for job creation and give you a very brief comparison to the San Diego CCDC, Center City Development Corporation, their past efforts. So you have a benchmark to look at our success compared to another successful agency, and then preview some new strategies that we're working on that we're going to involve both the council as well as the manager's office. This is our mission statement: to provide business attraction, retention, urban and economic development services to businesses, developers, and investors so they can operate profitably, which contributes to a sustainable, diverse economy. I think it fits very well with the approach that the city's taking with all its services, trying to think more like a business and how we can look at the whole picture, not just expenses going out, but revenue coming in, and how do we best provide services to our constituents. We're organized in 2 lines of business. We're not only staff support for the Redevelopment Agency, and with that we focus on development negotiations and managing the existing assets that we have, but we also are the economic development arm or business development arm of the city, and we work with existing businesses and new businesses to locate in or expand in Las Vegas. And that's why the previous item is so important to our office. It's really returning to our roots, if you will, focusing on trying to grow businesses within the city. These are some of the development negotiations we're working on and things that you can look forward to over the next several months. We're working on a reuse plan for the CIM Lady Luck campus and are working very closely with Jeff Rosen and Andrew Donner, 2 of the principals. And while it's not much to look at today, we expect to have some pretty exciting plans to announce in the upcoming months. They're also going to be moving forward at the Planning Commission and the City Council with a new site development plan, so you can see the big picture on what they're working on. We continue to work on a weekly basis with the Cordish Company to pursue the arena and the Live District. We've engaged a consultant to do a revenue study, and the Cordish Company is very active working on construction costs as we put an entire pro forma together for the project, which is really the first step in realizing this project for the site east of the current City Hall site on the 12-acre campus. Cleveland Clinic, and Symphony Park, we're working very aggressively with Cleveland Clinic. Expect to bring a development agreement to you in October. With that, we're pursuing other medical users in Symphony Park, and we're working on Parcel L. And then the Smith Center campus, we're going to have an exciting announcement in the next 60 days on a new user on the opposite corner of the Smith Center on the campus in Symphony Park. And we had a wonderful topping off ceremony recently for the 2,000-seat theater in Symphony Park. We're working with Solterra on a new residential project at 4th and Clark. Again, trying to look at all our assets, putting them to use. And then we're working on a reuse strategy for Cashman Center. Development management, that's our second program, really the asset management. And looking at our entire portfolio, we have a big portfolio still of land, not only in the downtown, but we have some in the northwest part of the city, in the Las Vegas Technology Center. Roughly 100 acres of that, 147 acres are under contract. We're taking a strategic look at our assets, at our parking garages, and evaluating parking ownership and management through an RFP that just closed. We had a lot of interest, and it's something that other cities are doing as well, trying to maximize revenue across all our city assets. And then we continue to focus very heavily on the land development in Symphony Park, the horizontal development, if you will, putting the infrastructure in, the wet and dry utilities in the streets, so you can really see the vision for Symphony Park start to take shape. Business attraction and expansion, I think this is something that you're going to see a lot more of. We're starting to see a lot of businesses come to the table. We're seeing a lot of green technology and clean tech businesses approach the city, looking to do business in the city. We're focusing on some key opportunities right now. The sale and reuse of the property at 2400 Tenaya. Currently we have a ground lease. Originally we did that ground lease for Ford Aerospace, and we're working on a new user and are going to be briefing Councilwoman Tarkanian and Councilman Anthony, who represent the area of the tech center, about what's happening, and expect to have something to announce here pretty shortly. We're still pursuing a retail bank branch at Enterprise Park, which is important not only for jobs, but to make sure that there's lending in the West Las Vegas community and the business community. 601 Fremont, we've had some success in negotiating with a new developer, and we're going to be taking an agreement forward on the second meeting of April 21st, for a new entertainment concept, as well as a mixed-use project, trying to take advantage of the surface parking lot and the opportunity for new development. We talked about the business incubator this morning. We're focusing our marketing more heavily on social media and our internet site, our website, trying to leverage our marketing dollars as best we can. So while we spend less on marketing, as other entities across the valley are doing, we still want to make sure our message is heard on downtown, on Symphony Park and the positive brand that we continue to build. We're working with business constituencies and advocacy groups, and as was mentioned at a prior budget hearing, we're going to take on the diversity outreach. There's a meeting with stakeholders this week. We're excited about this. We're excited to engage in a more consistent and regular basis all of our business constituencies, including the business groups like the Urban Chamber of Commerce, Latin Chamber of Commerce, Asian Chamber of Commerce, and other business constituencies, to where maybe we haven't focused on solely through business development, but it's been more of a cohesive effort with the city manager's office. These are the results. Just run through these quickly. You see the strategic results: economic diversification, maintain land inventory, grow our tax base, permit activity, and the effectiveness of incentives. In short, what does OBD do? We expand the job base, and with that we expand the tax base. And that's what we're going to focus on and continue to focus on. I'd like to focus on three of these and just give you a snapshot of some of the things that are happening right now. With diversification, I know that the constant focus right now is jobs and jobs. Well, we have some short-term impacts from some of the projects we work on, like the VIP programs, but a lot of our work is really long-term. And it's important to not look at it just as a lot of new development, a new fiscal impact to the city and the other jurisdictions in the state. Well, what's the impact from jobs? So I thought it'd be worthwhile to look at the job impact for Symphony Park. You see the item highlighted in yellow here, the recurring jobs from permanent operations in Symphony Park upon full build-out, if we're successful. We're looking at over 10,000 jobs. What that'll do, that'll grow the job base of downtown just with Symphony Park by about 25%. So it's incredibly important to look at the strategic vision that the city set out on and realize that there's an incredible opportunity to bring new jobs into the community, into downtown, into the city of Las Vegas. And those are permanent jobs, jobs that are going to be created directly in Symphony Park. And that does not even count the spillover effect, or what's heard in the industry of a multiplier effect, new jobs from suppliers of businesses in the area like Cleveland Clinic. That job figure could actually double when you take the holistic view of what are the indirect and the induced jobs from new spending in the downtown area. And then you see the annual tax revenue to the city, which includes not only the redevelopment funding, but the other tax funding that comes into the city, such as the C-tax. You see a big annual impact long term. So as we look at economic diversification, Symphony Park really is the city's linchpin for diversification. I mentioned we'll take a look at development permit activity. Because the city's strategically focused on its assets downtown, we've seen an increase in development activity. So one thing that we're tracking is, what does our permit activity look like compared to the rest of the city? Are we really providing that stimulative effect that we're trying to do? And these charts show that we are. The redevelopment area by acreage is less than 5% of the total acreage in the city. Yet with only that 5% acreage, you see the impact from new permit valuation. I reported last quarter the RDA permit activity represented about 38% of all the permit activity. For the second quarter, which ended December of last year, you see it changing dramatically, 74%. A big part of that was due to some large projects coming through, like City Hall, so that we do have some outliers, if you will, but this is something where we continue to focus on that really helps sustain our services as a city to our constituents and is really helping keep a lot of the development services functions within the city afloat right now. And so we'll continue to watch that very closely. Effectiveness of incentives, this is what I'm going to wrap up with. Since the inception of the RDA through December of 2008, applied analysis found that for every dollar of tax increment from the redevelopment agency that we've invested, we've attracted $16 of private investment. It's compared very favorably to other agencies. So I thought, rather than just saying that, well, let's take a look at another agency that is widely regarded as being successful. San Diego CCDC was formed in 1975, and they had originally four project areas. They rolled them into two, Center City and Horton Plaza, and thought we'd take a look at what happened on the fiscal side as far as new investment, new taxes, and then also the job front. You see the size of it. It was a bigger area. It was a bigger tax base in San Diego. But there you see the private to public investment for San Diego. You see the tax increment that they invested over a 34-year period of $798 million. It attracted roughly $13 billion worth of development. So you see there a 9-to-1 ratio, whereas within the city's redevelopment area, over the first 24 years of our life, you see a 16-to-1 ratio. So we've outperformed another model out there that's widely regarded as pretty successful. Maybe more importantly in this economy, we wanted to take a look at jobs. Jobs, quite frankly, are something that redevelopment agencies around the country maybe haven't been focused on enough. That's something we're focusing on very heavily right now. Through the first 22 years of our agency, from 86 through 2008, a plot analysis determined that we created over 9,400 jobs. Again, that's against a tax increment of $166 million. You look at what San Diego's done, they estimate that they've created 26,000 jobs, which is more than double, but they've spent 5 to 6 times what we've spent from tax increment. So we think we're really having a very efficient bottom line impact on new private investment and new jobs, and we're going to continue to focus on that for our downtown. What's coming up, future strategies, we're going to be looking more at economic diversification. We're going to be looking at a Citizens Advisory Committee. The employment plan policy, we're going to be refining that, and that's going to become an important component of our redevelopment expansion as well. Make sure that all the constituencies that we serve have an opportunity to participate in the new development and the new jobs that we're trying to create. And then we also have to remember there are some limitations. We can only spend redevelopment agency money for what the statute allows, and then we are projecting a small revenue decline. Through March 15th, we've taken in close to $22 million in tax increment. We're in line with our projections, what we've projected for this year, and we're projecting at this point an 11% decline. We don't have the final appeals from the assessor, but if that bears out, that would mean $25 million in revenue for next year, so a little bit less revenue. We are trying to do more with less. We've strategically held the line on staffing. We're actually 15% smaller than we were at our peak through some vacancies and managing our vacancies. And what this is going to mean moving forward is we may have some limited capital investment for new projects. We're going to keep the investments where they matter the most. We're going to keep them in Symphony Park. We're going to keep them in projects we've identified in West Las Vegas, look for opportunities in East Las Vegas, and then look for opportunities in the expansion area in Ward 1. With that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any comments or questions? Councilman Russ.
Mr. Arndt, that was a great presentation. I have to tell you this, though. We are in this downed economy. It is apparent, Mayor and council members, and for the benefit of the folks here and watching at home, that this public-private strategy is extremely successful. Look at the difference between San Diego and the city of Las Vegas. And, Bill, I was going to mention, it was our $1 investment, we were getting $15 of private investment. Now it's gone to $16. And that's significant. But as you gave this presentation, I got to tell you something. This is good stuff. You need to get pumped up. You need to get excited about this. I'm going to get you some pom-poms, because this is good stuff for the city of Las Vegas. And the numbers in jobs creation alone, and this council and mayor, I mean, that is one of our biggest priorities. We are creating that economic difference in the city of Las Vegas to help businesses grow, to help this community grow, and this redevelopment agency is doing it. Mayor, I got one question for him. Do you share what we're doing as a redevelopment agency with other governments, namely Clark County? And does Clark County have any idea of how successful our RDA is?
Well, I think we talk about it. We share it with our stakeholders. We have a constituency called RAN, Redevelopment Association of Nevada. So we talk to certainly our state legislators. I know we're going to be doing that with the expansion before we hit the streets and have those town hall meetings. We want to make sure that the state officials that represent those areas really understand the bottom line impact of what we're doing. So we try to get the message out as best we can.
Well, I ask him that for a purpose, because if we as the Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency shared our success with other governments in the Las Vegas Valley, I would think that they would jump on the bandwagon and mimic and mirror what we're doing. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Councilman Ross. The Clark County had a redevelopment agency, and our director at the time went to work over there with the county to head up that redevelopment agency when we got Mr. Adams. And about 2 years ago, they closed up the redevelopment agency. I don't think they had one completed job at all. I could be wrong, but I don't think they had any completion at all. So I think history shows that cities that have staff that work their tails off are successful. And our success is due to, of course, the council and the mayor, but also those people that head up the OBD and the RDA. And you got to give them all the credit.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilwoman and Council Wilson.
it was in the paper that they had not accomplished one single RDA project in the county, which was of great surprise to me, because I know how successful this has been. And it all goes to what Councilman Reese is saying, leadership, and very hard work. And we're very fortunate that we had the individuals that helped us there.
Council Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. Bill, one of the most important projects, at least in my mind, is our new City Hall project, and you didn't touch much on that. What I'd like to see are regular monthly updates, perhaps, on our progress, including some pictures, because pictures tells 1,000 words, and we had a groundbreaking, or whatever we called it, about a month or a month and a half ago, whatever it was, but this is a significant project because of the domino effect it has when we talk about the development downtown. So if you could do some regular updates on that, I'd appreciate it. Sure.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Arndt, I think it's important to keep on stressing what tax increment means. The public hasn't really grasped that concept yet. It's not the easiest of concepts to understand, but when you talk about the tax increment growing the way it has, could you try to synthesize for us and for those who are listening so they may be able to understand what kind of unbelievable impact this has on the community, and when the redevelopment agency sunsets in 20 years from now, what the effect of getting all that money will mean to this entire valley?
Sure. Quite simply, it's really new property tax from new development. And that's something that's often misunderstood. When we created the Redevelopment Agency in 1986, and that's why, to really do a fair comparison, I had to find an area and look at the whole life of the agency, because when we create a redevelopment area, we freeze the tax base. And we do it for a reason. Prior to 1986, the taxes coming in from downtown were actually decreasing year over year, not increasing, decreasing. So we froze the tax base, and then we essentially all the new property tax from new development we take in. That new tax from new development is simply called tax increment. So it's really like a savings account or a revolving fund. We take that new tax increment, we reinvest it back into the area. And I can't emphasize that enough, and I'm glad Councilman Wilson mentioned City Hall. When the redevelopment agency spends money, we're investing money. We put a lot of thought and care into how we invest our funds. Every step that we take, every action that we take is meant to try to do two things. It's A, meant to attract new private investment, and B, meant to attract new jobs. And I think we're doing that and doing that quite effectively.
All right, thank you very much. The second comment I have is, and it's a shame because a lot of the city staff and the council, for some reason, were not invited to the opening, and I let them have it last night, real good. And you'll all receive invitations from MEET, M-E-E-T, which is a new business and building at 4th and Bridger. This is, in essence, a mini convention center, and it's going to be a tremendous addition to the downtown because the hotels downtown now will be able to attract business that they ordinarily wouldn't be able to attract, because they're going to be able to provide them a venue where they can have meetings and parties and the like. And it's a brand new facility on the inside and on the outside. I believe it was an old bank building that was reconverted, but it's absolutely gorgeous. They've got an outdoor patio there that could be used for entertainment, and all the council and the staff will be invited. Julie Quisenberry, I think, was the only person from the staff who was there other than myself, but it's very exciting to have that in the downtown, and they're very, very aggressive, and it's going to be a real boost to what we're trying to accomplish down here. Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion, please?
Yes, Sean, I'd move to accept the report.
All right, let's vote, please. Post. Motion carries. Thank you very much. All right, item number 7 is citizens' participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the Redevelopment Agency. No subject may be acted upon by the Redevelopment Agency unless that subject is on the agenda and is scheduled for action. If anybody wishes to be heard, please come up, identify yourself. Be happy to hear from you. All right, I see none. So we're going to move on to item number 8. This is agency member recognition. If any of the members of the Redevelopment Agency wish to be heard at this time, we'd be happy to hear from you. All right. Saying none, we'll be in recess and start our city council. Well, we'll adjourn this meeting and we'll start our city council